Hi friends and welcome back into the mat. I'm in project mode. We are going to make a beautiful fall inspired necklace today. There's a lot going on. I have a lot going on in this project, my friends, but I hope and I think you're going to enjoy this one. This will be, I believe, I'm still in project mode here, working through my Autumn's Embrace sparkle bag. I think this is project 5 or 6. I'm not sure right now while I'm designing, but I'll surely put it in the thumbnail. So I'm still working my way through several more items I'm going to make out of this bag. It was a packed bag and I still have a lot left. So we'll keep going. But guys, we have a beautiful neck going on. I threw almost the entire kitchen sink at this fun project because I just wanted a really beautiful sweater weather fall inspired necklace that's going to go with all of my sweaters and like my flannels and my buttons up, my button ups and all that. That's going to be a really long necklace. So we've got a lot going on. Let me tell you what I'm working with, and then I will lay it out and show you where we're going. And then, as I said, I'll edit out where needed. I'm working with the 8mm and the 6mm Unikite in this. I'm also working with the 8mm rondelles and the coconut and the creamsicle. And then I have the 6mm rondelles in burgundy and the 4mm rondelles in tomato. Also from the bag, I am using the twisted 8mm twisted open jump rings, the links that you got, the gold twisted oval links. We're going to use a whole bunch of those. And everything else I'm working with is, and I have an orange. One of the orange rondelles I put right here. So I've got that as well. So there's just one of those there. All the other beads I'm going to be working on with my dangle are going to be picking back up from the necklace itself. So the things for my stash, my friends, I'm working with are wire guardians. These are actually 24 karat gold plated. I'm also going to use some 2x2 crimps. I'm using a couple of bead caps from my stash. I'm also using some beading wire. My beading wire is in coconut. Okay, so I'm using some coconut beading wire. I'm also using, my friends, some 22 gauge craft wire, and it is in a gold color. It is the pearl wire, 22 gauge. Okay, so we're using some craft wire, beading wire, and my friends, I'm pulling in some of my 3mm flat vegan suede in camel. Okay, so guys, there's just a lot going on. So therefore, we're probably going to use just about every tool. We are going to be using lots of tools, friends. So we're going to be using chain nose, the 6-step, the magical crimper today. We will, of course, use some flush cutters and some wire cutters. I'm also going to use my nylon jaw to straighten my wire, and probably some sharp scissors to cut my suede. So a lot going on, just about everything. Just bring all your tools for this project, friends. All right, let me now lay it out and show you what I'm thinking and where I'm going. I'm gonna go ahead and just do some barrel knots today. And I'm gonna put the suede, no clasp. This will slip over the head. And so we'll do some measuring and get that suede to lay on the back of the neck and come on down. So this is where we're going, my friends. This is where we're going. This is my idea. So let's jump into it, shall we? Each end off. So on this side, let me see if I can just open this link and click in this wire guarding. That would be awesome. If not, we need to grab a couple more jump rings, but I don't think so. I think so. I don't think I can get this in here without damaging my wire guardian. Okay, yeah, I think it might. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna need to grab another jump ring for right here. So let me grab another twisted. I'll just stay in theme here, and I'll grab 2 pairs of pliers, and we'll get this guy connected on this side. So I'm gonna open that up and feed that on that link, and feed my necklace on the link and close that up. And again, guys, if you've got this bag and working with this particular set of findings, these are really sturdy jump rings. because they're stainless steel. They're gold plated over stainless steel. Do really work them, you know, your sides in to get that nice and close there, because we don't want that wire guardian falling off. Okay, so now that is done. And now I'm going to do the same thing down here. I am going to put a jump ring down here. But before I close that up, I am going to add another jump ring. And we're going to attach that to that link. And I'm going to close this up again really, really well. Perfect. Okay, now I can either open this or open the link. I'm gonna go ahead and open the jump ring. And then we're gonna put that link on. And close that link, and it's gonna be really tight, but it does fit. But it fits nice and secure and tight there. Okay, very good. And this side is pretty much done except for our leather on the back. Okay, so we've got that. And like I said, I already did my wire wrap loop for my first little component and wire wrap this. So I made a really decent sized loop on the top here, so it'll fit through that link, but I don't want it to go outside of this little divot here, which it doesn't. So it will lay straight at the bottom here. So that's what we've got for our first side here. Okay. So I'm gonna grab my wire here, friends, and we're gonna get a decent piece out. So to do a nice, you know, I wanted to keep in scale, right? And so I'm thinking I'm gonna do maybe a cute swirl at the bottom here. You know, I could do just about anything, but I think I'm just gonna do a circle. So, you know, the asymmetrical vibe I have going is just gonna kind of continue from the bottom all the way through the necklace, right? Because these are oval links, and then we also have some rounds. So the dimension, I think, is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a decent piece of wire, and I will tell you that is an 8-inch piece. Straighten that out. And again, I'm working with 22 gauge, and then we'll cut that off. Okay. And there it is. I'll get that put away. And we're gonna turn that around until that meets. And there we go. There's the beginning of my spiral. Now I'm gonna grab a chain nose, or your, you can also grab your nylon, whatever works for you. And we'll make our little spiral. But I'm gonna make a decent sized spiral. So I'm just gonna continue to go around. So I'm gonna use my left hand to form my wire, and I'll open and close my pliers as I'm holding on to the shape that I am forming here. And we'll just keep doing this until we have our desired size. Just keep going around and round. And we just make little motions at a time here until we get, like I said, to our desired size. So, and that's what we've got. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. I'm gonna make this a pretty decent sized spiral. Okay, so I'm just about where I think I wanna be. Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna grab my nylon jaw, and I am going to tap that a few times to work hard that without marring my wire, right? You can use if you've got good wire, you know, you can use your chain nose. You can use your block and hammer. You know, guys, I work with wire so much on the channel. It's so funny. I was thinking this the other day, and I never bring out my hammer, my block. I probably should start bringing out my block and hammer, because I know many of you do use it. So I'm just gonna kind of try to stiffen this up a little more. And now I'm just going to kick this wire going up to feed my beads on. And that centers that, kind of like a lollipop. And that's what I've got. Okay, now I'll just feed my beads down, and then we'll just do a wire wrap loop at the top and connect it to my other component. So slide that loop down, let that fall in there. We'll go ahead and close that up. And wrap that around. And then we'll trim. Trim and tuck. And that's what I have for the bottom, my bottom component there. And that's where we're at so far. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, so now guys, all I'm gonna do is grab some beading wire here and just, probably just a little bit here. Don't need much, so about like that. And we'll put a crimp on and a wire guard in. So I'll feed that tail right through the barrel. And up and around the horseshoe and down the other barrel. And then we'll get that crimp through that tail. Make sure our wires are uncrossed. And go ahead and crimp that off. You can use any crimping method. I'm using the magical crimper today. If you want to use your regular crimp method, you can do that too with the good old faithful. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to put a crimp cover on it, you can do that too. And there we go. I go ahead and trim that tail. And I'm just gonna feed my beads on now, guys, in this exact pattern. Okay, my friends, I've got this strand crimped off. Now I am going to add a jump ring to this strand, and then what I'm gonna do is we're gonna add that to this middle jump ring here that's connected to the link. And it's almost like a Y-style lariat, very similar idea here. So we will first make sure our jump ring is open. Then I am going to grab this link, or this jump ring that's on the link, rather. Feed that jump ring on, and my wire guard in right down that jump ring, and now we'll close that up. I might need to grab another pair of pliers. I think I will. My thin chain nails are probably a little thin for this guy. Okay. And now we'll close that up very well there. And I think we're getting ready to add another jump ring to get this link on the top there. So I will grab another twisted. So then therefore, guys, hashtag modify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 twisted jump rings on this project. But you know what? This is just going to be so pretty. I can already see it coming into shape. I just, all of these components and these findings I just love. So we'll just connect that there with the jump ring. And you can really do however many links you want to do, like an asymmetrical. You can do however many links you want. I like to work in odd numbers. Most jewelry designers do for that bag. And if you have not worked with your links yet, friends, literally they're a click and open. I will show you. Let me grab some more here. They are just a click situation. So there is an opening, and you just can grab another link and just slide it on, and they just click, and voila. Very, very easy. Okay. So let's see what we've got. So that's what we've got. That's what we've got, my friends. So now it's just a matter of me measuring and doing some barrel knots with my suede. So let me tell you what we're going to do here for measuring. So I'm just going to obviously measure what goes around the neck. I'm not doing any clasp. We need to slip over the head. So I'm going to measure from where those wire guardians are, right here above those two jump rings. And I think I want to go probably about 24, friends. So I'm going to put that ruler right there. And then that should be good. But I will double check before I cut. So I'm going to bring my suede in now. And I'm going to also allow extra to make my barrel knots. So I'm going to give myself at least a good 3 to 4 inches there. You want plenty. So I want to give myself probably that much extra for my barrel knots. And then if I go there, and then swing back around, and about there for the barrel knots, that should slip right over that. That's a 24-inch, and that should slip well over the head. I might even want to go to 26. Let me see how long these are. These are an inch, these links. I might go to 25-inch. So I'm going to put my ruler, friends, right down at the bottom of this link, because this is another at least good inch right here. So that'll be a 26-inch. I think that's what I'm going to do. And again, if I change my mind once I start wearing it, guys, I can always redo my barrel knots. So I think we're going to go to right there. So again, this is all extra for my knots. And then we'll add another 2 inches. So I'll add another 2 inches right there. Yeah, so that'll probably be, yep, that should be good. So that's how I'm measuring it out. And I'm going to cut it on an angle right there. Goodness. Okay, well, these are starting to misbehave. Okay. So the amount of suede I have, friends, is about 26 inches worth of suede. Okay? So what I am going to do now, my friends, is some barrel knots. We'll do some barrel knots, and when I do my barrel knots, I do like to use a straw or any kind of a little object. It does help. It does help. So any straw, friends, I've got those. I've got one that's cut a little shorter. I'll probably grab this one. Just a regular straw. Oh. So to start my barrel knots, friends, I am going to grab my suede. I'm going to put it through that link. And then what I'm going to do is give myself a whole bunch of slack. Right? And then I'm going to grab my straw. I'm going to lay it right there in between my 2 pieces of my leather here, my suede. And I will zoom you in a little bit, friends. This is a really easy way to do some barrel knots. Oops. Sorry, guys. Okay. And so I'm going to go around that straw, 1, and I'm going to work towards the left. There's 2, and then 3. You can do as many barrel knots as you want. When I come back around, I'm going to take this tail and put it through the middle of that straw. And now I'm going to hold my barrel nuts and remove my straw. Okay. And now we'll put these down into place. And we're just gonna push and pull. Do a little push and pull motioning here. Get those barrel nuts nice and tight. So that will be the front. Let me pull that up off that link. Pull that short tail and get that. So now that's pretty much in place. And there we go. And now I can trim my excess and put a dab of glue. So I'm gonna trim that pretty good and close. And now I will put some E6000. So I am going to do this off camera, friends, but I am gonna use my E6000 and put it right there on that knot. And then I will let it dry for like a day, okay? So I'm gonna do another barrel knot on the other side here. Okay, my friends, I am done fidgeting with the second barrel knot, and there we go. And again, I am going to trim that tail off right above the end of that knot, and then we'll put some glue right on top there. And do let your glue dry, my friends. Let your glue dry. I let it literally cure for a day. And I will also hang it up. So I'm gonna hang this on my little lamp right here on my clip. And so when my knots are drying, it also helps your suede or your leather to relax if you're using any kind of different cording. Suede is a little softer, leather is stiffer, right? So your leather might need a little time to relax. And there we go, my friends. Voila! We are done with the most beautiful. Guys, I cannot stand it. I love this. I'm gonna put it on an angle so I can get the whole thing in. So there's our bottom, and there is our beautiful asymmetrical. It's really a beautiful Y necklace is what it really is. It's a beautiful Y. And that will slip right over the head. Some of that cording is out of camera, but that's pretty much what that looks like, guys. And I love this right here. I don't know if you can tell. These jump rings are laying perfectly flat, so they lay flat against my body, but they're almost overlapping, because pretty much when you wear it, it'll be about like this. It'll be about this wide here. So they're just overlapping a little. It's just beautiful. It's not too bulky. It's just, I love this. I love the way this necklace turned out. It's been so long since I've done a necklace. Oh my gosh, you guys. Ooh, ooh. Gorgeous. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me today. I hope you're inspired. And we will see you in the next video, my friends. Be blessed.